Aquarius, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out and hit that like button right there. Boink. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. So that's how you can help me make that happen. All right, let's see what is going on for all of my Aquarians for the next 7 to 10 days. We are starting out with the 7 of Cups reversed to the 5 of Wands also reversed. So there seems to be, this lack of motivation or I guess maybe even being able to see that, if you were to put yourself out there, there might be a lot more options for you. And I feel like with the 5 of Wands coming in reverse, it's almost like you don't even try, all right? But if you do go out and start to open some doors, you may see that there are a lot more options out there for you than you thought. Now, this sounds to me like an opportunity to find work, find money, or even, find something that you love to do. We love to have a purpose in our life, and I think this, kind of rides along, you wanting to have some kind of a purpose here. So here, 4 of Swords sitting above you. I think it would help you if you have been in a place where you have been really struggling. Maybe recently you've, come out of a place that, has been really difficult, or you've just been hurt in some way. Maybe you just came out of a relationship. I don't know, you fill in the blanks, but now, there's this unsettled feeling of like, what am I going to do next? What do I do? Now what? Right? Bottom of the deck, though, we have the Hierophant coming in reversed. Well, now it's time for you, to step into you, to do whatever it is that you love to do. The Hierophant reverse, man, doesn't conform. The Hierophant reverse loves to, do things their own way. The Hierophant reverse is a bit eccentric. The Hierophant reverse doesn't care what anybody else cares about. They do their own thing. So I feel like that's where you're at. You now are in a position, to really open the doors for yourself. Now, we have you in the Queen of Pentacles energy here in the recent past, and she is reversed. So when she shows up reversed, money, work might have been a little bit unstable, and that might be, where you're sitting here thinking, well, what could I do? If you have been a mom for the last, 15 years, and it's like now you need to get out there and get a job, you're like, well, what could I do? Well, there's a lot of things you could do, right? But you have to start looking, and then you might be surprised, but, I'll encourage you to look in a field that would make you happy, all right? Don't just go get a job to get a job, look in a place that you would like to work and get a job there, it's just like, oh, I would always love to work in a library. Well, go to the library and see what they have available. You might be surprised. It may not be librarian, but it may be a position that would put you in the library. It's that kind of a thing, do not be afraid, to, open up and cast that net out there in order to, maybe advance yourselves and give you a little bit more stability when it comes to your finances. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Wheel of Fortune coming in reversed. So I just feel like, a lot of you Aquarians have just gone through something. 4 of Swords, something happened. This Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck, things haven't been really, really stable. And then with this Queen of Pentacles also being reversed, it's been rough. All right? The struggle is real, right? So, let's see what else is going on here. But here you have your freedom. All right? So, let's run with that, because I think the fact that, you have the ability to do whatever you want right now is your greatest gift. So what is it? All right, what do you want to do? All right, let's tap into our intuition. We have the High Priestess coming out here. All right, and I feel like she's pointing something out. I think there's something that that you could do that could possibly even, make you some money. 10 of Pentacles. Intuitively. Maybe some of you guys are psychics. Maybe some of you guys want to get online, and get yourself, some kind of a social platform that could make you money. Because here, Page of Pentacles, I think you see that there is this potential for you to make, some really good money. Right? But you gotta start and you gotta do it. You know, I do have here the 8 of Wands coming in as your final outcome. I like it because this is you setting things in motion. If you set something in motion, you know, things are going to start to happen. You know, the 8 of Wands, you know, things happen quickly too. So if you have this idea that you want to set in motion, because here, you know, this guy is looking forward, and you set this in motion. I mean, here's this wonderful star here, and, you know, the 10 of Pentacles sits above it. I mean, it's just like quickly, I think you could make a lot of money doing something you absolutely love to do. But you got to set it in motion, because that's what the 8 of Wands wants you to do. The 8 of Wands wants you to communicate, wants you to call up, wants you to look on the website, and wants you to build a website, and wants you to get yourself out there, and wants you to tell people about it, it wants you to, you know, network, it wants you to, you know, take that step. But you have to feel as if you can, you know, this is, to me, is a lot of, you know, insecurity, all right? Because here when we have all these choices, well, it's just like, I'm going to go do this. But here it's just like all of the resistance and all of the reasons why it would never happen to you. And oh my gosh, you know, I could never do that, you know. And you know what, me be a tarot reader and make some money? Yes, you, a tarot reader, you could probably make some really good money. And then we have the Page of Cups here. Again, a new beginning. Doing something you absolutely love to do. Right? So, you know, when we have this energy of the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups is a new beginning, a new, you know, it's like a fresh new start in something that you really want. Here, the Page of Pentacles. This is something that you see. So I feel like you can definitely have that for yourself. Now, for some of you Aquarians with this page, be very, very careful of overindulgence, because in this image here, you know, we have 3 people all partying, hanging out. So yeah, just err with caution, you know, if you're out there partying, you know, please don't drink and drive. But yeah, that's what I see for you. All right, Aquarius, you know, I feel as if, you know, the potential for you to put yourself out there in some way would really, you know, once you gain that confidence, because here it's just like, it's been so long, I could never do that. Oh, no, me? How could I do that? You know, that would never happen to me. And I want to say, too, that for some of you Aquarians, if you have a child, you know, your child could be the one that's out partying and drinking, all right? And just, you know, keep an eye that it's not too out of control. I mean, when I was a kid, we would always go to Willie Gimple's house, you know, and drink, you know, and, you know, their reasoning was at least they knew that, you know, where everybody was if we were going to be drinking, you know, so we would shoot pool and drink beer and, you know, do all the things that we do when we were partying. So anyway, I'm just picking that up as a side note, because I'm definitely feeling like if your intuition is wondering where your child is, you know, they could be, you know, doing some drinking and some drugs. Just an FYI for someone out there. Anyway, listen, this is what I got for you. Please take what works, leave what doesn't. I appreciate you all being a part of my channel. Yeah, and I'll see you at another one. So until then, be happy, be healthy, be kind, and I'll see you later. Hit that like button.